Hello YouTube, it's Octane here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we're going to be doing another manga review. Today we're going to be looking at Shangri-La Frontier, Volume 1. Now, this looks different from the ones you guys probably know, because this is the Mexican edition, and in fact, it's not even just the Mexican edition, it's the Mexican Special Edition, which is called the Shangri-La Frontier Expansion Pass, as you guys can see on this little obi belt. So, let me show you what it comes with, and then I'll tell you about the book. So, it comes with this little light novel. That's it's called hardcover. It has a like a name for an artist, but there's no actual art inside. And this story is kind of a secondary story. It does not necessarily have to do with what the story in the manga is. It also comes with this cool postcard that's supposed to be the original cover. So yeah, let me show you the book itself. It comes in this black cover. It's more or less the same, but it's black. It has this nice scrolling on the side of it. It looks really good in the back. And the inside of the book looks like this. That's the front. In the back, we have a character sheet. And in terms of color pages and stuff like that, it doesn't have any, which is kind of annoying because it clearly should have. Like these pages look like they were in color and then grayscaled, and that kind of sucks. You guys can notice it more here. It looks like more detailed than it really would, and that one as well. So yeah, this book is written by Katarina, who is a Japanese light novel creator. This novel was on Naru. And the illustrator is Ryusuke Fuji, who I'm guessing is the guy that does the artwork for here. Even though he's credited on this light novel thing, he doesn't have any artwork here. So there's that. And the publisher is Panini Manga Mexico, as you guys can see right there, and back here, and back here as well. And the demographic is Shonen. This is a manga adaptation of the light novel. And the genres are action, game lit, and isekai. Although I would actually say that it's not actually an isekai, but Wikipedia has it listed as one. So I don't know. Personally, to me, it's not an isekai because even though it is a portal fantasy, it is more a game lit story, a story that has a lot of game elements. It's actually more lit RPG specifically with a hardcore, game system to it than it is isekai, because the character is not trapped in this world. He has not been transferred to a new world in any capacity. This is a character that can enter the virtual world and then leave. Very similar to the second and later arcs in SAO, which is also not an isekai story. Even though a lot of people think it's like the isekai story, only Aincrad is actually an isekai. Everything else is not. So, be aware of that. It's technically, people say that it's an isekai, but Shangri-La Frontier is not. By the definition of it being, trapped in another world. So, yeah, like I said, this is an adaptation, and it actually has an anime that is coming soon. So there you go. That's pretty interesting. And basically, the premise is that we follow this guy called Sanruko, who is this bird-headed guy here, who likes to play what he deems are trash games, which are games that have really badly made badly made mechanics. And he eventually finishes one, and he's kind of tired of it, and he wants to get a new one. But the woman that sells games at his local game store actually tells him to try this new, really awesome game called Shangri-La Frontier, partially because she thinks that he should play good games to be better able to enjoy shitty games, but also as a kind of a wingman situation to this girl called Ray, who happens to be interested in Sanruko, right? So, then he gets into the game, he starts playing, and he actually ends up enjoying it because the game is just significantly harder than he was expecting, and his ability at playing trash games actually allows him to be better at playing this good game that is harder than he thought. And eventually, he gets this curse put on him by Lycaon, or Lycaon, who is this giant Fenris type giant wolf, right? And this curse makes the game more like a trash game that he's used to playing, and so he really ends up enjoying that aspect. And so it's generally really cool. By the end of it, I really enjoyed the story, and I was really excited to get into it. And the most satisfying thing was actually the artwork. It's just really, really good. It looks really amazing. It has very cool kind of vibes to it. I don't know. And the premise is pretty fun. It's kind of like SAO, you know, Infinite Dendrogram, any of these video game like in and out kind of stories. So it's not really all that different. It basically is an isekai without actually having the defining feature of the isekai, right? So there you go. I'm gonna briefly mention the novel that comes here, as well as one of the little extras that comes in the book, which is actually this small excerpt from the Shangri-La Frontier light novel, which is basically just explaining the relationship that Sanruko has with two other players who I'm guessing are eventually going to show up in Shangri-La Frontier. And then this light novel actually tells you kind of the beginning, origin of Rei as she plays Shangri-La Frontier and becomes this character called Cyber Zero, who happens to be her avatar in the game, but also a member of this clan called Schwarzwolf, which are actually going after Lycaon, the monster that affected Sanruko. So it's pretty interesting. However, the way it's written in Spanish was kind of really boring. Like, it's just a personal issue. It's not actually that the writing was bad. It's just that Spanish doesn't really have the same kind of idea that English has about making everything as accessible to people as possible in terms of the written word. And so when I read Spanish, and specifically in like novel formats, it feels unnecessarily flowery and unnecessarily like posh, and it kind of ruins the enjoyment that I have, because I don't really want to be having to struggle with, you know, the very advanced vocabulary that isn't necessary to making the story make sense, right? So it is a personal preference. It also has to do with the fact that even though I speak English at an immensely, you know, good level, and I speak Spanish at a pretty good level as well, my reading ability in English is significantly higher than my reading ability in Spanish, just due to the fact that I didn't really grow up reading Spanish since I lived here in the US. And so when I go back and try to read novels in Spanish, they're kind of significantly more annoying to read. Partially because I'm not good at reading Spanish, but partially because the way everything is written is just really annoying to me. So yeah, that's all I have to say. This part of the story was interesting, and sadly, Panini Manga Mexico is not going to continue to release the expansion passes for some stupid reason. They decided they were only going to release the first one and never any of the other ones, so that's pretty annoying, which means that I'm probably going to switch over to the American release of Shangri-La Frontier, because it's just a lot more accessible, even though it costs twice as much. So that's just how it's going to be. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Shangri-La Frontier. It's a really good manga. I definitely recommend it if you guys want it. It's coming out here in the US really soon, if it hasn't already come out by the time this video comes out. It's already been available in digital format, but Kodansha is releasing it physically in the coming days. So yeah, definitely check it out, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys later.